There's a thread on the RCPowers forum called Foam Tac Alternative, which the person on the forum says that this zip dry product made by Beacon Adhesive also, and I think he got it at Hobby Lobby. I bought this at Michael's. Is a similar product and seems to do just as good on his hinge. I found the product zip dry here to be much thinner and does not dry nearly as quickly or as strong as Foam Tac. I reached out to our Foam Tac rep, Eric from Beacon Adhesive. He said that this product is not Foam Tac and that it's meant for joining paper together, like photos in a scrapbook and things like that. So he would not recommend using it on a foam plane because it'll fall apart in air. So I'm going to do a quick test here between Foam Tac and Zip Dry. I've got pieces of foam here labeled Zip Dry and Foam Tac. And what I'm going to do is join them together and see what happens. Now the method I use for doing Foam Tac is to put a bead down on the foam, on each piece of the foam, and then I smear it. This starts getting it tacky. Wave it in the air a little bit. And I'll let it sit here for a little bit. I'll let that tack up a little bit longer than Foam Tac because Foam Tac is quicker in tacking up. And now I'll do the same thing for Foam Tac here. Nope. Foam Tac's got a separate seal. It's got two seals in there. I'll do the same thing for Foam Tac now. Put a bead down and smear it. And I'll put also a bead on the other edge here and smear it. Right away I can see that the Foam Tac is tacky on my fingers almost immediately. So now this has been setting up here on Zip Dry, and Foam Tac is here, and I'm going to give it a few seconds here before I join them. Let's say about 30 seconds. Okay, so I've got Zip Dry here. I'm going to join the two pieces. And this is one method I use. I put them together and pull them apart. And then stick it together really good. And let it sit for a few seconds. Do the same with Foam Tac. You can see Foam Tac is really tacking together compared to Zip Dry. Now I'm going to leave these both for about another minute. Alright, so it's been about a minute and a half. So I'm going to try to see how the two compare. Zip Dry's has been actually curing a little bit longer, so I'll try that first. You can see the kind of effort it takes to pull it apart, and once it's apart, no tack. Now Foam Tac, a little bit stronger, and it remains tacky. In fact, if I pull it apart several times, it still retains its tack. And in fact, it's getting a stronger bond as I'm doing this. And whereas Zip Dry, the tack is gone. Falls apart. This is still retaining its tack. So that goes along with what Eric said. This is more of a permanent solution, and this is more of a temporary solution. Once you stick the paper together, whether it's photos onto a paper scrapbook, and you want to take it off, then the residue does not remain behind so that you can reuse that photo in another way. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes now, and Zip Dry is still not tacking at all. It's actually dried up and no tack. Foam Tac has gotten stronger to the point where it rips the foam. The foam actually rips as I'm pulling it off. So you can see the pieces of foam are ripped off from the edge. So definitely Foam Tac is so much stronger, and it was made to do that. Beacon Adhesive made Foam Tac for a reason as opposed to Zip Dry. Some people have been using the Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac is about halfway between Foam Tac and Zip Dry. So definitely, if you care about your planes, use Foam Tac. And you can see how it's ripped. It just ripped the foam apart here where the bond was.